Shalom. First and foremost, is always giving all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Racha, Kodash. Double honors to the Apostle Elders of Great Millstone. Peace and blessings to the hopeful elect. Just gonna do a news and prophecy video. Just gonna use three articles from Natural News. I just want to go into it. Just gonna bring out the first article, which we're gonna keep going over this over and over because as we see with these articles coming out, with as you can see what it says there, I don't need to read it for you. You see we're getting closer and closer. They're bringing it out more and more, speaking about Revelation, the 13th chapter and the 16th verse, how more information and how it's becoming more mainstream now. So the more it's being made more mainstream means the closer and closer it is to come out. And the Spirit made me say something at camp. After watching that video called Look at Your Agua, if you know what I'm talking about. It shows you how these elites plan things years in advance, and then when they're ready to execute on them, that's when they bring these things out. So it's the same thing with this, what's spoken about in Revelation, the 13th chapter, the 16th verse. They've already had it. They're just, slowly over the years, waiting, setting things up and waiting to implement things to perfect their NWO. But they've always had these things ready to go. Now, I'm not saying that since the 70s or 80s or whatever 90s that they've had the small grain of rice prepared. No, but they've had things in place, or they have over time, over the years, been setting things up year by year, preparing for that hour and day when the Lord's going to make it mandatory. Because at first it'll come out voluntarily, you know, if you choose to, but they're gonna do things and make it mandatory to where it's like you have to take it, and that's when things are gonna become hectic because they're gonna make it a life and death situation as well. But it shows you how if you watch that documentary called "Look at the Agua," it's not called "Look at the Agua," but you just replace the "look" with WATCH, and it shows you how they plan things years ahead in advance, and then when they're ready to, that's when they move, just like a serpent. The serpent will it'll watch its prey, and then when it's ready to strike, because it can always strike, but it waits for the 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 best time to strike when your guard is at its lowest or your guard is low. But enough talking. Just want to get into it. So it says the IOB, implantable objects, could put all your information in one place and make you hackable. It says implantable objects are now being marketed as the ultimate inconvenience, but their goal is ultimately to create the IOB, an ecosystem of sensors designed to monitor, analyze, and modify human bodies and their behavior. And that's exactly what it's about. Even though they won't tell you these things, you have to understand these people are the devil. They're the deceiver. They're going to lie to you. You can't trust their mouth. Matter of fact, let me get that precept. Right, you have to check this man's track record, his history on the things that he's done. Matter of fact, the Spirit just gave me two precepts. But let me get this one first since I'm here. Because Gad had to learn the hard way. Is it Psalms 55? Yep. This is Psalms 55 and 20. He had put forth his hands against such as be at peace with him. He had broken his covenant. Right? And the Native American Indians had to learn this. They broke over, I believe, 300, maybe 400 treaties with them, where they made all these agreements with them, and they broke every single one of them. Even when you go, I did a Google search seeing about how many agreements that America has broken with other countries. It's broken like, I'm just gonna give. It's been a while since I looked that up, but I'm gonna say at least about over 100, maybe 100, 150 of agreements that they've broken with other countries, or they just didn't uh, like agree on something. They either just broke their word, or they just didn't fulfill their part of the deal. And it's like, well, what the hell? So how can you trust these people? They can't even, Slovakia got allergies. They can't even keep a deal with other countries, but they sit there and say they want to be the shining example of democracy, how the world's supposed to be run, but they can't even keep deals with other countries, and you trust these people with your life? Look at their track record. They show that they can't be trusted. They say one thing, but then they do another thing. Even in the world, you have that saying, uh, uh, roughly, I forgot how the saying goes, but don't trust a person's words. Don't trust a person's words. Look at their actions. Or no, the saying goes, actions speak louder than words. Salakia. They'll say these things, but you need actions to back it up because you said these things, right? So now you have to be a man of your word and fulfill your word. But these people say these things, but then they never do these things. Verse 21, it says the words of his mouth were smoother than butter, right? So their words are real smooth. They sound, um, their words are very pleasing to the ear. It sounds beautiful. It's like, oh, that's exactly what I wanted. That's exactly what I needed. But war was in his heart. His words were softer than oil, yet were they drawn swords. So although these people speak peaceable unto you, they're going to deceive you at the end. Can't trust them. That takes me to this precept, which I believe the Spirit's telling me it's going to take me to another precept. I don't know. Oh, this might be 12 and 10 then. Yep. The book of Sirach, chapter 12, verse 10. Never trust thine enemy, for like as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness. Though he humble himself, right, speak peaceable words unto you, act all kind to you, and go crouching, yet take good heed and beware of him, and thou shalt be unto him as if thou hast wiped a looking glass, and thou shalt know that his rust had not been altogether wiped away. So right, so although he go humbling himself, crouching, acting like he's all kind and he's sorry for the things he's done, or the things he'll say as smooth words unto you, to feel good words to make you feel like he's on your side. If you keep your eye on him, pay attention, you'll see that what his actions don't match his words. He'll say all these things that they'll do this, they'll do that, but then their actions don't match. So does he really mean the things that he's saying? Is he really for you? No, because his actions don't back up what he says he's going to do. The action has to back up the words. If it doesn't, then your words are bullshit. Your words don't mean nothing. Verse 12, set him not by thee, lest when he had overthrown thee, he stand up in thy place. Neither let him sit at thy right hand, lest he seek to take thy seat. And thou at the last remember my words and be pricked therewith. So that at the last you can be like, I should have listened. And they told me not to listen. And that's what we're telling our people. Don't trust these people. You can't trust them. Forgot, what was that movie? Avengers Infinity War. When Thanos was on nowhere and he was looking to get the reality stone, and he was pressing interrogating the collector, and he was like, the collector was like, would I lie to you? And he's like, I imagine it's like breathing. And it's like, yeah, that's what lying is for Esau Edom. It's like breathing. It's natural to them. Let me see if I can find this precept. Give me 1 second. Or is it 10? That's 13. It is 13. This is Sirach chapter 13, and I'll start at 3. The rich man hath done wrong, and yet threateneth withal. The poor is wronged, and he must entreat also. If thou be for his profit, he will use thee. But if thou have nothing, he will forsake thee. Right, and that's how these Edomites are. If they can use you in the society, whether that be like our people who are into, basketball and things like that. If these are the things that you seek after, that type of lifestyle, to be a celebrity and things like that. If they have need of you, which is to use you to pretty much, mold the next generation of Israelites that will follow in your footsteps to just be basketball players, be entertainers, be the court jesters. If they have need of you, they'll use you. They'll be like, okay, yeah, they'll act all kind with you. They'll be all nice with you. Yeah, 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 sure, sure, sure. And they'll give you all these benefits and all this, these, $1 million contracts and all that, because they have need of you to deceive the next generation of Israelites that'll come to keep us forever in captivity, to keep us dumbed down, to keep us stupid, to keep us separated from our God, right? So if thou be for his profit, he will use thee. But if thou have nothing, he will forsake thee, right? If like us, we're of no profit to Esau Edom. So it's like he has no use of us other than to just get us off the streets, to kill us. We're not useful to him. If thou have anything, he will live with thee. Yea, he will make thee bear and will not be sorry for it. If he have need of thee, he will deceive thee and smile upon thee and put thee in hope and will speak thee fair and say, what wantest thou? Right. So he'll speak fair to you, like I was saying earlier, speak all kind to you, speak all nice. What is it that you want? What is it that you need? I'm here for you. I got you. Anything that you need. I see that your people are struggling, this and that. Don't worry. I'm going to do these things for you. What is it that your people need? What is it that your people are in desperate need of? So I can do the things that you need me to do. I'm here for you. I'm by your side. Like I said, he will live with thee. So he's going to be there by your side. Right? And that's how these people are. Biden and all them, and not just Biden, Trump, Obama, all these people that the elites use, they always come up with that same thing. They all act like they're your best friend, like they've known you since you were young. They're right there with you. Call on, Slacky, 1 second. Slacky. They act like they're right there for you. They're your best friend. They've always been there. They're going to be with you through thick and thin, right? But it's all just to deceive you. It's all to just lie to you, right? If he have need of thee, he will deceive thee and smile upon thee and put thee in hope. He will speak thee fair and say, what wantest thou, right? And he will shame thee by his meats. Now his meats is talking about what? His doctrine, his philosophies. Until he have drawn thee dry twice or thrice. And at the last he will laugh thee to scorn afterward. When he seeth thee, he will forsake thee and shake his head at thee, right? So at the end, after he's used you and you're of no use to him, then that's when he'll shake his head at you. He'll look down upon you because he's gotten what he needs out of you, especially our people. That's every nation, but specifically our people. That's what the so-called white man does. That's what Esau Edom does. After he's done using you, he'll look at you and be like, yeah, I tricked this person. I deceived them. I got what I needed out of them. That idiot, that fool. He never knew he never knew what I was doing to him. And I used him to destroy his own people. And that's pretty much what he's doing with these celebrities. With that whole Will Smith and Chris Rock thing. All Esau Edom is just using him to just distract their people. And yeah, they'll put a nice, a pretty penny in their pocket and things like that. But still, these people, Will Smith and them don't know it. Well, either they do know or they just don't care, but they don't know that they're being deceived. They're just being used. And Esau Edom, when he's done using them, he's not going to come to their aid. He's not going to be with them forever. Esau Edom is not like the Most High. The Most High is a rock. He's like David said in Psalms 18, my fortress, my rock, my high tower, my deliverer. The Most High is worthy to be praised. He's worthy to be trusted. You can't trust this man. I forgot there's a precept that says, trusting in princes like a foot out of joint or a tooth, a broken tooth. That's what Esau Edom is. He's a foot out of joint. He's a broken tooth. He's useless. His words mean nothing. Right? But let's get back in the article. I didn't want to feel like, but that's where the spirit took me right there. But hopefully it comes right. Okay, come. So this is going back into Revelation 13 and 16, right? So continuing, it says they would allow you to open doors without keys or buy things, and that's exactly what this small object that they want to put in your body is going to do. As it says in Revelation 13 and 16, the charagma that's going to be cut into your flesh by the use of a karax, and then it's going to leave a small little object inside of wherever, whether it be the right hand, the left hand, the forehead, your back, your leg, it doesn't matter, your foot, your toe, it doesn't matter where it goes. So long as it's inside of your body, that is the object that's going to be used to not only track you, because they're going to say always, they say all the time in their articles, it won't track you. Yes, it will track you. And it will be used, it'll be your new identification system. It'll be how you're going to function in the new world, because they're doing away with the old system of physical dollars, which you can see that that was the plan the entire time, because what they did away with gold and things like that. Then what you had the physical cash that you have right now, the dollar, right? But then now what they came out years later, they came out with what, the credit card, and then what, you had your money on a card which had a little small CHIP in it. And then now in the future, they're going to move it to a small little grain of rice that's going to be in your hand. So you see, through the years, they've been slowly moving the people into what they want people, what Revelation 13 to 16 is talking about, which is that small object put into your body. And that is what Revelation 13 and 16 is talking about. That small little object is the MOTB that we speak about, that our apostles, elders have been warning about for the past 30 years. And that's what this article is going into, and how it's becoming more mainstream now, how it's becoming more talked about now. More and more articles are coming out about this MOTB, Revelation 13 and 16, and it's going to affect everybody. You know, all facets of life. It's going to be the new thing, that how you function in society. This is what's going to allow you to function in society. And if you don't have it, you won't be able to function in society. You will be cut off. See, it says they would allow you to open doors without keys or buy things without your wallet. Right. Because you are going to be the key now. You want to get inside your house, just swipe your hand. You'll get inside your house. Right. Easy enough. Right. You want to unlock your car. You want to start your car. Just swipe your hand or touch the steering wheel, and your car will start. Your car doors will open. Right. You want to pay for things. Just swipe your hand or whatever. Swipe your hand over whatever thing they got to scanner that they have there, or it might scan your brain, because Revelation does speak about the forehead, right? And it's just so easy and simple. It's going to be the new way of how the world is going to progress, and how the world is going to be. Excuse me. And that's what Revelation 13 and 16 is talking about. A small physical object, not something that you made up in your mind, not uh, the snow bunny, the white woman. It's not that. That's not what Revelation 13 and 16 is talking about. It's not talking about a snow bunny, a white woman. It's not talking about any imaginary thing that you come up in your mind. It's not Christianity. It's an actual physical thing that's going to be, let's just say, surgically put into your hand, forehead, or wherever in your body by a needle, and it's going to be left there. And that thing is going to have all your information on it, of how you're going to function in society, because they're doing away with this way of function in society, where you have your ID on you, your driver's license, your social security. All of that is going to be on that small little object, and that's how you're going to function in society, through that small little object. It says Sweden is one of the first countries to adopt implantable objects to become more or less a cashless society, right? And like I mentioned earlier, that's slowly how they've been moving into a cashless society. You had gold, they did away with gold. And then what? You had your dollars now, right? Which you still have your dollars today, but eventually through the years, what? They came out with the uh, the credit card, and what the credit card has the CHIP in it, right? So now you no longer have cash in your hand. Now you have what? A credit card, and your credit card has your money on it and things like that. And your credit card pretty much became like your life, and how you would function and do things in society. And now soon, the instead of having a credit card, now it's going to be a small little object inside of your body. That's how they've been moving through the years, because this is all orchestrated. This is all planned out. They've been planning this for years because the Spirit of the Lord has been on them to plan for years, because this is a part of prophecy. This is the Lord's movie. Like I've heard the Apostle Tar say, this really is the Most High's MOTB, right? So it says Sweden is one of the first countries to adopt the implantable object to become more or less a cashless society. The implant will replace Slovakia, the need for debit and credit cards altogether, along with identification and keys. To pay for items, all you have to do is place your hand near a contactless card reader to register payment. An estimated 5,000 to 10,000 Swedes have been, as it says, clipped so far, although authorities claim that they don't know the exact number as there is no central registry. The potato chips are said to be untrackable at present, but this may not remain so in the future, while early MCs contain only limited amounts of information. Implementing a global digital identification system would include everything imaginable about a person, from online search histories and medical information to personal banking data, social credit score, and more, right? So, in order to have all your information, all this on it, it has to track you. It's impossible. With the IOB, nothing will be private. Biosensors that measure and monitor biological functioning and emotional states will also be developed. This could also include biosensors that detect diseases by tracking chemical reactions inside the body. For instance, it could determine whether or not you have been infected with a infection such as the icky vicky, even before symptoms emerge. So that's what I want to get on that on this article. At least I'll, Lord's willing, I'll remember to put this also, these articles in the description box as well, so you can also check out the sources as well. But yeah, as you can see, this is becoming more talked about now. So it's sooner or later it's gonna be. I don't know why that keeps popping up all the time, and I keep pressing yes. You're seeing that's becoming more and more talked about. It's sooner or later it's gonna become. It's gonna be right around the corner, like the prophecy in Habakkuk 2 says, "For the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak." So right now the vision, although it hasn't come out yet, but what it's speaking right now, it's set for an appointed time, and at the end it shall speak. So when you see it finally come out, and then when it's made mandatory where everybody has to take it, or they're gonna, force people to take it, whether that be through life and death situations or just cutting you off, that's when you're gonna know the prophecy speaking. That's when you're gonna know that a prophet had been among you, beginning with our apostle elders warning you that these things were to come. Now this is the other article here. This nastiness here. It says woke professor. I can't say this word, but you see the word there. Says the woke professor. Peas are innocent. Kids are kids to blame for teasing them. So professor, which is definitely an Edomite professor, I looked at him, is basically saying that kids are the ones that are, for lack of a better word, antagonizing peas to be, I guess, attracted to them or whatever. But that's the mind of an Edomite. It says a far left woke professor has sparked outrage by claiming that peas are innocent and are not to blame for, I don't even want to say that word, but ARPing children because young kids are teasing and provoking them. So young kids who are not developed, especially in this society, because you're not taught anything here. Back in the ancient world, young men's minds were more developed because they were taught to be men at a younger age. Because at the age of 12, especially in our society, you were considered a man. But here, you're not considered a man until you're the age of 18. So your brain is less developed and you think more like a child when you should be thinking at a man by the age, obviously between the ages of 12 to 18, because by the age of 12 in our society, you would be considered a man. But here you're not considered a man until you're 18. So you're still acting like a child. So this grown ass professor says that what? That it's that young kids who still have an undeveloped mind, especially in the society, are the ones that are making are to blame for causing the peas to want to touch them and things like that. This is why we have to get out of it. But you see, think articles like that, and this isn't the only article that's come out. Multiple articles have come out about this type of stuff, even in the Christian church. And the one thing every brother always asks is, where is Vocab Malone? I'm gonna have to say the name, but he's calling himself a apologist for Jesus Christ, right? The Lord, the one that everybody screams about, believes in, that or say they believe in. Here it is. You have it's come out through articles. It's the truth that men in the Catholic Church have been okay teeing boys, getting all feely with little boys and little girls as well, probably, right? Where is he on these things? Why doesn't he speak about these things? He's always speaking about the Hebrew Israelites. We're the worst people. The Hebrew Israelites, this we're messing up the scriptures. We're lying. We're twisting things. Well, we don't only just go into Esau Edom. We don't only go into prophecy. We go into other things. We go into health. Obviously, we could go into prophecy. We can go into health. We can go into how you should conduct yourself as an Israelite man, conduct yourself as an Israelite woman, how things were back then, how to think, how to talk to people. We can go into a plethora of things that the scriptures teach you about, how to not to be lazy and things like that, which also goes, I would say, into conducting yourself as an Israelite man. How to dress. Apostles Paul speaks about that with the women, for the women to dress modestly, you know, how to be faithful. All these things we can go into. But why is it this man is just a one-track mind where it's just the Israelites, 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 Israelites? We can also go into your diet. I don't know if I said that already. Buddy, talk about something else. Your congregation ain't getting bored about just talking about the same thing all the time. Ain't nobody raising their hand saying, you ain't got nothing else to talk about? Talk about this. Talk about the atrocities that here it is. Esau Edom is basically making it normal for, kids to be, for, these weirdos to be around kids. Why don't you talk about these things? Why are you only talking about us? There's a whole bunch of evils going on in the world right now that you could be talking about. Why is it always just us? Because it shows that you're set up to come against us. But if you're true like you say you are, and or you try to make yourself to be this true person, talk about these things. Get into these things. You don't think Jesus Christ would want you to talk about this? You don't think Jesus Christ would want you to talk about people who have a messed up diet that can get their diet on track? People who need to stop smoking and things like that? This article that I'm getting into, Revelation 13 to 16, you don't think Jesus Christ wants you to speak about that? Isn't that important? Will you think the Lord just gave John the Revelator these prophecies for no reason? Why don't you get into those things? Why are you always just talking about us? You don't get bored of just talking about. I get bored sometimes of eating the same thing all the time. You don't get bored of just talking about the same thing all the time? Oh, it's a good thing I have water here. My mouth is getting dry. Salakia, 1 second. Salakia. It says, yes, really. Professor David Finkelhorn from the University of New Hampshire claims that peas are not predatory because children are often to blame for their relationships with adults. Professor Finkelhorn claims that peas are not predatory or criminally inclined, and claims that the child is responsible for getting ard because they are allowing themselves to be seduced by an adult's flattery. That's the sickness that just came out of this man's mouth. Basically, blame the kid, not the adult. That the adult, who is much more mature in life, should know better. Don't blame the adult that should know better. Blame the kid that doesn't know any better. But let me get this precept because that's pretty much what these people are. Habakkuk said it. Habakkuk 2 and 4, it says, "Behold, his soul which is lifted up is not upright in him, but the just shall live by faith." So that's why these Edomites can say things like that, because their soul that's in them is not upright. How is it that you can sit there and say, don't blame the adult, blame the child for the reason why they're getting touched and things like that? But like it says, his soul which is in him is not upright. The Lord made them crooked. They're not upright. So that's why they say these things. But if you're in the world, you're gonna sit there and look at it like it's nothing. But people, now the Lord is taking that that veil off, and he's being exposed by the mouth of his prophets, and now it's being shown who this man is and what he's about, and now people are looking at them. Where at one point when Esau would say these things, people wouldn't look at them, where people would be agreeing with them. But now through the Spirit, by the mouth of the Lord's prophets, he's being revealed, and now people are looking at this man like, yo, what the hell did you just say? Like, really? At one point when I was in the world, I wouldn't have thought nothing about this, in all honesty. Because what? You're in the world, so you're going according to the customs of the ways of the world. You're just worrying about yourself, not thinking that any of this impacts you. But really, this does impact me. Because like I mentioned once in a video that they took down, that I have a niece, I have a nephew, and things like that. I know other people. I have a homeboy in the world that has a daughter. So you mean to tell me that if an adult likes what he sees, he could don't blame the adult, blame your little niece because she's the one who's doing something that's exciting him, really? But our people are fine with being around these people, but these are the things that they say, and they're making these things normalized now. Let me get something in the Apocrypha. Why is my eyes blind right now? Where is it? Or is it up here? No. It's amazing when the Lord can make your eyes blind and you don't even see what it is you're looking for. And I know it's right here in my face. Why is it I'm not seeing this? Where's the three holy children? Why am I blind right now? Okay, screw it. We just gonna read it from the book. Yeah, we just gonna read it from the book. Screw it. I don't know why I'm blind. Slovakia. It's probably right there in my face. Oh, it's called Prayer of Azariah. Okay, and this book is called Three Holy Children. Okay, that's weird. I'm just gonna hit the point. The three holy children of the prayer of Azariah 1 and 9, it says, "And thou didst deliver us into the hands of lawless enemies, most hateful forsakers of the Most High, and to an unjust king, and the most wicked in all the world." If these people really followed the laws, statutes, and commandments of the Most High, we wouldn't have to worry about the things of this world. Because of that, we have to worry about things like that. And the Lord, just like back then, dealing with Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah, who was Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. This story goes into when they were put in the fire in Daniel the third chapter. How back then they were under the Babylonians, and he was saying that they were under the most wicked in all the world. But now we're back here in the daughter of Babylon, and this place is more wicked than that place. So the same thing that he said for back there applies today, that yeah, we're under the most wicked in all the world and most hateful forsakers of the most high, and to an unjust king, which is these elites, the top banking families. They don't rule the world in righteousness. That's why you have all this wickedness going on. This is why you have disappearing kids and all that, which is something I don't even think Joe Biden or any of these presidents have ever come out and talked about. Where are these missing kids going? And of course, that might get the video taken down, but seriously, where are these kids? Why is it that you don't talk about these things? I'm just going to read a little bit more and then we'll go to the final article. It says Finkelhorn, who disturbingly is the director of the Crimes Against Children Research Center, says he believes it is not effective to presume that a P relationship is initiated by the adult. More nastiness coming out this man's mouth. The professor made shocking remarks during a panel discussion titled Sex Crimes Against Juveniles Involving Elements of Voluntary Participation, Implications for Prevention and Response. During the discussion, Finkelhorn was caught on camera boasting that children are the ones that usually initiate sexual activities with adults. So children are the ones that initiate, really. A child that doesn't know anything. But the adult who knows, son, they don't initiate. So the adult is innocent, but the child is the one that's at fault. That's essentially what this man is saying. If young people are initiating sexual activities with adults or enthusiastically involved, we can't be effective working with them if we assume that all such relationships start with a predatory or criminally inclined adult Finkelhorn says, whatever his last name is. We've seen in the discussion young people bridle at being forced into this box of being seen as the victim of a predator, and so there are reasons for learning about what the dynamics are and how to talk about them so we can better help the young people who are in these situations. He sounds like an advocate for it. He might be somebody who is on the low. I'm gonna just keep it that much because I don't want my video getting taken down, or I hope the video doesn't get taken down. It says Finkelhorn added that there's a lot of ambiguity, hope I said that word right, about and discussion and lack of consensus about what to call these kinds of episodes, and added that he's opted to coin the phrase voluntary elements to the sexual relationship between the child and the this whole thing is getting me tight right now. We should not be having it, although we're having this conversation. But because like the scriptures say, it's like you get angry because like what the hell is wrong with these people for it to come out their mouth. But like the scripture said, I just read it myself as well. His soul which is in him is not upright. So it's like you get angry because like what the is wrong with you people? Like how can you say something like this? But it's the way the Most High made them. There's a precept, I forgot where it is, but it's in Sirach where it says, everything is double against another, and he had made nothing imperfect. So even Esau in his wickedness, although he's wicked, he's perfect in his wickedness, and he's just being exactly what the Most High created him to be. Because the Most High deals with both sides, the light and the dark. He says that in Isaiah 45:7. I create light and darkness. I make peace and evil. I, the Lord Yahweh, do all these things. So when you look at these people, it's like, how can they say these things? How can they be for the alphabet community, the extracurricular activities? How can they be for these things? Because this is how the Most High made them, and they're perfect in it. They're the perfect devil. They're the perfect wicked race walking on this earth right now. And that's how they can just say these things and look at you like, where did I say wrong? I, what's wrong with what I said? I don't see nothing wrong with what I just said. And you can look at them like they have 10 heads and it's just there's nothing wrong. That's why they just have to go. And this is why rulership cannot be in their hands, because they just have to go. They got to go. They got to go. uh I'll jump ahead a little bit. It says DailyWire.com reports Finkelhorn told the Daily Wire on Monday morning that his remarks in the libs of TikTok clips were taken out of context and that they were made in a talk he gave on statutory sex crimes against children, knowing that he clearly said that all these kinds of crimes are illegal and should be prevented. Now he's trying to defend himself, but you basically just agreed and said that kids are the one that initiate and not adults. So which one is it? Is it adults initiating or kids initiating? Because this is the thing in this society, you never get a straight answer. It's always, well, you see, and well, if you look at it this way, no, it's a yes or no, like Yahweh Shah said. Let your yea be yea and your nay be nay. Did you say, or did you, pretty much insinuate that, look, pretty much kids are the one that, pretty much turn on adults, or is it adults are the ones that are pretty much, attacking little kids? Which one is it? Not no in between, or if you look at it this way. The point that I was making was that we can't identify them if we assume that everybody who was sexually abusing children is identifiable from the kind of predator model where they had prior sexual interest in children and they were forcing themselves on children. All right, I gotta leave this article. This is disgusting me, but basically, this is the mind of Esau Edom. This is what go, and it comes out like the scriptures say. So shall they make their tongue to fall upon themselves. They're exposing themselves. The Lord is making them uh, their tongue to fall upon them and exposing what really goes in their mind and how they feel. And this is just disgusting me, man, because this is just filthiness, man. And we're around these people. These people want to come near you and come near your kids and act all nice. These people are disgusting, man. I said the same thing in the last video as well that they took down. It's filthiness. But the last video, Saki, the last article is going to be on this guy, Frank James. Article says terrorist suspect arrested in New York City subway shooting identified as an anti-white racist, but he was still allowed to post on social media, right? And this is pretty much them, this is going to be going into the famine of word because they're using, which they've used other individuals before, and they're going to use this to pretty much not only come against us, but also come against the truth, which is to pretty much ban us from speaking, about the truth on YouTube and things like that, because the Lord used the YouTube to pretty much push out His word through the four corners of the earth to gather His elect, and pretty much this is getting close to the time where like the scripture says, damn it, I forgot, damn it, I just had it, it just left me, damn it, the Lord's willing it'll come back, but basically the Lord is taking His word off the streets now. It's either the elect are sealed or just about sealed, and for those of you that turned your back on the word or didn't want to hear, okay, well, like it says in which Lord's one I might get that because I don't want to butcher it. I think I'll get that as well. That great calamity is going to come upon you, and we hope and pray that the Lord keeps His Spirit upon us to keep enduring unto the end. Because meditated about this the other day. There's nothing to go back to in the world. There's nothing. What are you going to go back to? What is it? You look at the way women are. It's like, what's there to go to? You're going to deal with some baby mama drama where you got to be, deal with the baby mama, baby daddy, and bullshit like that. And first and foremost, this I talk to myself, and then for whoever is listening, what else are you gonna go do a 9 to 5 job, bullshit like that, the same shit you was complaining about before, or go be around our fake ass people that only act like they love you, but then when you check their actions and the words, they don't love you at all. They only say that they do, but when you look at the actions, they don't. Be around our fake ass people. What are you gonna go back to that bullshit ass religion, Christianity? Like I said, I'm just talking to myself first and foremost, but then to whoever's listening, there's nothing out there. It's the dead walking out there. We just gotta pray and hope that we're a part of the elect and that we see this through, man. Because it's like, just that's all I gotta say is this: may the Lord speak through me right now, which He is. But to really encourage someone, we just gotta go through the straight gate, man. There's no other way. There's no go to the left, go to the right. We just gotta go straight and just power through this through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashim Ashah, that He'll carry us through it, that He'll deliver us through whatever test that we have to go through during Jacob's trouble. Because, like, again, going back into the world, it's certified death, And like I know there's that precept, I forgot where it is. After you've tasted the heavenly calling, how could you go back to the world? You're basically like you would be crucifying the Son of Man afresh again, you know It's like, what's there to go back into the world? This world is dying. You can see it. People are getting worse and worse. They're just living it up in wickedness, but it's like you can see that they're getting worse and worse. And we should aspire to get stronger and stronger in the spirit, so that way we can conquer and we could, get through these things, because it's beautiful when you can conquer through the spirit and power of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahshua, when you can be bold, when you can stand upon your feet as a man. These things are not taught to us in this world. We're just taught to lie down and just get along to get along, just go along with the flow like everybody else, and have no morals, no principles, no nothing to stand upon, no not roughly paraphrasing, slack you for my wording right now, but not to have some balls, man, some cojones, and just stand upon something. People will laugh at that, or probably hear you say that and laugh at it, but it's like that's what you're taught in this world, to just get along, to go along and get along with everything, not have no, again, part of my language, not to have a fucking dick between your legs, man, to act like a fucking woman, a sissy, and just be a bitch. This word, like it says, unto you, O men, I call, and my voice is to the sons of men. The Lord is calling us men, and we can only pray and hope that we are his men, that we know that we've been called to do this work, but we pray and hope that we've also been chosen. So, Salakia for going on a tangent right there, but just Spirit was on me to say that, because that's what they're doing, that, they're coming against not only our Lord, the word, but also against us, with these individuals that they set up, whether he was set up by Esau Edom or on the left hand by Satan. Satan was working on this man's mind to do some foolishness. Still, they're going to use this to come against us. It says the NYPD, I'm not going to read through this whole thing, but it says the NYPD has arrested, which they've been arrested, but this was an article that came off on April 24th. It says the NYPD has arrested the man believed to be one who shot up a New York City subway station earlier this week, and have charged him with terrorism after he wounded more than a dozen people. The suspect, Frank James, reportedly set off a smoke bomb before he finally, Slakia. The suspect, Frank James, reportedly set off a smoke bomb before he began firing at an early morning commuters, and had a bag full of additional smoke bombs, more ammo, and some fireworks. He's been charged with terrorism. Now, listen to this part, right? It says, but the real story is this. James, a black man, is a stone cold racist who hates white people and Hispanics, and has for quite some time. I'll read that again. Emphasis on certain words here. But the real story is this. James, a black man. Why couldn't they put any other word, or just say the suspect or whatever, Frank James or whatever? Why do they have to put a black man? We know he's a black man by the pictures, his images. If you look at it, why you got to put that for? Because they got to make sure they put the, what do they label us? The black Hebrew Israelites. So what? But the real story is this. James, a black man, is a stone cold racist who hates white people. And don't we say Esau Edom, the so-called white man? You see where they can line these things up with some of these words? Who hates white people and Hispanics, and has for quite some time, which our apostle elders have been preaching for quite some time as well, have they not? So you see how they can line this up and say, oh, this man who is a black man who hates white people and Hispanics, who hates people, right? Or they could just say people in general, a person who promotes hate speech or whatever, and has done it for quite some time, however long he's been on YouTube, right? See how they can use that to line up with our apostle elders and the men that have come underneath them, us as well, who are, as they like to label us, black Hebrew Israelites, they can label us stone cold racists who hate white people, right, and other races of people, and has for quite some time, right? It says, how do we know? Because he showed us who he was for years, right? So same thing they can say with us. These men on the streets, these black Hebrew Israelites, who have shown us that they hate people for quite some years, right? For 30 plus years, beginning with our apostle elders, this doctrine has been preached. How do we know? Because he has showed us who he was for years by posting vile, disgusting, racist rants and messages on social media. Hasn't the word, the apostles say that they've been preaching, for 30 plus years, but then, the word really got out there on the YouTube. I believe they started, it was either 2006 or 2007 when Apostle Tar gave the order for brothers to put videos on YouTube, to push the truth on YouTube. So the same thing they can say, these men have showed us who they are for years, that they hate white people, they're racist, they hate their own people, or they hate Hispanics, they hate Asians, they hate this and that, and they've shown us this for more than 10 years, that they've shown us who they are, that they're hateful people, that they want people to die, they want this and that and bad things to happen. See how they can use these same words to make us seem like we're like Frank James, that we're unhinged people, that we're crazy and we're going to do things? Yes, that's right. Frank James was allowed to put his hate-filled garbage on social media, just like they can say we've done that for years, while conservatives get censored and banned for pushing back on fake news or misleading data about the Icky Vicky. Platforms even banned then President Donald Trump for life after fabricating an insurrection charge later. Slakia, for life after fabricating an insurrection charge related to the January 6, 2021 riot at the Capitol building. That was an obvious false flag. Right. As it continues going on, it says here, these are things that he said from his video that they're quoting. It says, "Oh, Black Jesus, please kill all the whiteys," said one meme he posted, as reported by the New York Post Miranda Devine. So you see how they're taking some of the things he said in videos and then bringing it out there in the articles. Same thing that they could do with our videos. Take the worst parts of our video. Don't even take where we're, clearly edifying and showing you why we feel these ways, or if you really listen to our words through the Spirit. But no, they're gonna take the parts that they can twist and use. These white mother effers, this is what they do. He said in the video posted on YouTube, or posted to YouTube. Ultimately, at the end of the day, they kill and commit genocide against each other. What you think they're gonna do to your black ass? It's just another quote. It's just a matter of time before these white mother effers decide, hey, listen, enough is enough. I'm gonna just say it, these niggas gotta go. He added, which they're showing you that look, we can. They're basically showing their hand that look, we're gonna take the worst parts of your video, the worst thing that you say, and use this, and now we're gonna make you seem like the worst people in the media. We're gonna put your face up there. We're gonna take the things. We're gonna twist your words and take the worst things you say and put it up there and say he said this and that. He said this and that and that and that and that, right? And put your face up there on the 12 o'clock news or the 6 o'clock news, 7 o'clock news, whatever, and have these quotes and take these words that you said from this video and these words from that video and this and that, and put it all together into this one big paragraph of you saying all of this and taking it completely out of context and making you sound like the most hateful person in the world, make you sound like a complete evil person. That's what Esau Edom is going to do. And that's what he's showing you right now, what he's going to do through this article. Right. Let me just get a couple of precepts, and then that'll be it. Mm, I'll just read from 7. This is Revelation 12 and 7. "And there was war in heaven. Michael and his angels fought against the dragon, and the dragon fought and his angels." Not actually a dragon with wings or a red dragon. No, it's talking about Michael coming back with our Lord Yahushua to fight against Esau, Edom, right? And fought and his angels, and prevailed not, neither was there found Slakia, neither was their place found any more in heaven. And the great dragon was cast out, that old serpent called the devil and Satan, which deceiveth the whole world. He was cast out into the earth, and his angels were cast out with him. Now I want to get this word devil and Satan. We go into this word devil. It's diablos, which says prone to slander, slanderously, accusing falsely. Another word, false accuser, slanderously. Right? It says metaphor applied to a man, not see again, not an actual fire breathing dragon like some of you believe. Applied to a man who, by opposing the cause of the Most High, may said to act the part of the devil or to side with him. That's talking about Esau Edom, the so-called white man, the global elites. That's the one that's accusing us because it all goes up back to the top. It starts with them. That's the devil. That's Diablos. That's the one that's accusing us, setting things up to make us seem like we're evil people. But what did Yahweh Shai say when they came after him? I sat daily with you in the temple, and you never put your hands upon me. Roughly paraphrasing. All these times you've seen us in the streets, you didn't see us do anything crazy. We just read the words out of a book. The same book that you say that you believe in, that you go to church about. Like we said, we brought you the proper understanding of the Bible, the truth, through the Holy Spirit that's been given to us by Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, beginning with the apostle and elders of Great Millstone. That's all we told you. We were sent out to preach the truth. But no, we're labeled as hate speech. We're speaking hurtful words. But what does it say in Ezekiel? I forgot. I believe it's Ezekiel, the 3rd chapter, like beginning on the first couple of verses, or maybe at the end of the 2nd chapter, where it says, when he ate the roll, that he saw lamentations, mourning, and woe. That's what the Bible's about: lamentation, mourning, and woe. I mean, there's a book called the Book of Lamentations, where Jeremiah had to see the suffering of his people. Jeremiah had to see Jake get taken down, Israel being killed and stuff like that. So yeah, there's lamentation in the Bible. Yeah, there's mournings and woes. It isn't just joyous things like these churches tell you. So here it is, like Yahweh Shai said, I sat daily with you. Here it is what we were with you at work. We were your friends. We went to school with you, we went to college with you. You know, some of us, we may have been your former lovers or whatever, that you may have left us for whatever reason, or you found out we came into His truth, we found out who we are, so you left us. You know, whether that be man or woman, we was cool with you. We didn't say nothing bad about you. We didn't wish no evil upon you. We just wanted to give you the truth, give you true love. But here it is. Now you want to come and accuse us and say we're all manner of evil and things like that and come against us because the time wasn't at before. For 30 years, we were going according to this world. If you speaking according to this world, we were hate speech and all that, right? So for 30 years, it took you 30 years to figure out we were speaking hate speech. Now all of a sudden you want to do something about it, because now is the time that it's time for you to take us off the streets. Because now is the time that the Lord wants His word to be taken off the streets. Because His elect either are sealed or are about sealed, and it's about the wrath got to come now. You know, the word has gone out. Those who repented and took heed to the word, Lord's willing, the Lord be with us. He delivers us out of us. He gives us the spirit, power, and faith to get through it. For those that didn't want to take heed to it, it's open season. That's all I gotta say. It's open season, baby. Open season. Right? So that's what Esau is. He's the deceiver. He's the one that's gonna slander us, make us seem like we're evil. And that's what he's doing in this article. Where was I gonna go? This is Psalms 50 and 19. Psalms 50 and 19. Thou givest thy mouth to evil, and thy tongue frameth deceit. Right? He's making us seem like something we're not. All we do is what? We have normal lives. Like the scriptures say, if it lieth, as much lieth in thee, live at peace with all men, roughly paraphrasing. We're not taught to go out there and be wild, crazy guys to shoot up, to things like that. No, we're taught to be peaceful to people and to what? Like Yahushua said, I send you forth as sheep in the midst of wolves. Therefore be wise as serpents and harmless as doves. We have to be wise like a serpent. We actually be wise, but we also have to be like doves, harmless. So we weren't out there to be all aggressive with people, although yes, we may be rude in speech, and yeah, like scripture say, lift up thy voice like a trumpet. So yeah, we may yell and scream at people, but just because we're yelling and screaming at people doesn't mean that we hate you or something. Has your parents never yelled and screamed at you? Have none of you ever played football in your life where your coach yelled and screamed at you and things like that? What's wrong with this society where you're so damn soft where someone raises their voice at you and you can't handle it? But really, it's the spirit of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, the spirit of authority speaking to us, and where it scares you, it frightens you. And like a father speaking to a child, you gotta, cower down and like, oh shit, okay. But you, in the flesh, you see just men out there, young men or older men that you deem like, oh, who's these guys? Who are these guys to raise their voice at me? So you deem us as nothing. But in the spirit, you really know that you gotta cower down and back down because it's the spirit of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua speaking. But in the flesh, you just see just regular men. So it's like, I don't like how you're talking to me. But verse 20, Psalm 50 and 20, thou sittest and speakest evil against thy brother, thou slanderest thy own mother's son, which is us, because we came out of the same womb. Two different nations, but we still came out of the same womb. And that's what Esau Edom's been doing for years, slandering his own mother's son, which is us. But that's all I want to get on that article, just to bring out some news and prophecy, just going into basically, the MOTB it's being brought up more and more now in articles. I believe it was also on CBS Nightly News, I think. In one of those articles, I think I seen it, that CBS Nightly News talked about it on maybe April 20th. I'll go check that out. And if anything, maybe if the Lord puts the spirit on me, I'll post if I can, hopefully, post it on YouTube. Maybe they won't take it down. I don't know. Also getting into just how disgusting these Edomites are, and they're showing themselves. How this man said that kids are to blame for peas, and basically to show in this final article that how Esau Edom is showing you how he's going to come against them and exactly what he's going to do. Where this man was set up by the spiritual demon Satan on the left hand side, or by Esau Edom, still it shows you what they're going to do. Put your face out there, take what you said in the videos, twist it and turn it into something evil for all men to hate you. But this is why we have to trust in Yahweh Bashem Shai, that he's going to deliver us and that he's going to justify us in that day and deliver us from Esau and whatever he has planned for us. And we just have to stay faithful even unto death. And Lord's when we get those crowns, and we'll have the victory over Esau. So Esau can do all these things now, but we get the victory at the end. What's that saying? Esau is thinking that right now he's laughing, he's preparing things. But what's that saying? He who laughs last, laugh best. And that's what's going to happen. Lord's willing, we endure to the end, or whoever the elect are, that's who's going to laugh best. He who laughs last, which is going to be what? Laughing in them chariots. Revelation the 15th chapter, when they're looking down at everybody burning, that's who's going to be laughing best, when they're delivered, when they've escaped the judgment, when they've had victory over the image, the beast system, and the charagma. That's who's going to be laughing best. Though the elect, the 144,000, and the large multitude, that's who's going to be laughing best. Not the one who's laughing now, but who's going to fail. But pray that this video is edifying. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Racha, Kodash, double honors to the apostle, elders of Great Millstone. Peace and blessings to the hopeful elect. Shalom.